So if a majority of US senators agree on something, they should be able to pass a bill, right? Well, luckily for people who like political gridlock, they can't. Why? Because of the filibuster. But before we talk about the filibuster, first, we need to talk about what the US Senate does. Their main job is to debate and vote on changes, which are generally, but not always, improvements to government policy. But in the extremely partisan climate of contemporary US politics, the filibuster makes this job extremely difficult. Let me explain. Basically, a filibuster is a process to delay or block the passage of a bill by standing up and speaking on the Senate floor for as long as you can without sitting down or leaving the Senate. And this can theoretically go on forever unless 3/5 of the senators vote to stop the filibuster through a process known as cloture. So if you're just one guy, like say Rand Paul, who in 2013 staged a filibuster to protest the use of drone strikes against American citizens, you can only do a filibuster for like 13 hours because you have to, sleep and stuff. But if you and 40 of your Senate buddies wanted to stage a filibuster, you could technically do it forever just by taking turns talking. And the threat of this kind of filibuster is why ruling parties with less than a 3/5 majority of the vote can't pass any legislation that the other party doesn't like. And the funny thing about the Senate filibuster is that it was kind of created by accident. In fact, the founding fathers of America were completely opposed to anything that would require more than a 51% majority to pass bills. But in 1806, Vice President Aaron Burr removed the only mechanism that the Senate had for forcibly ending debate on a bill, thereby opening the door for the infinite filibuster. As a side note, since these filibusters can last a long time, the longest being Strom Thurmond's 24-hour asshat filibuster of the 1957 Civil Rights Act, you can easily run out of things to talk about that are directly related to the bill you're filibustering. And this has led to things like senators discussing family recipes, reading Great Eggs and Ham, and even impersonating Darth Vader. Now, this being government, there are a couple of loopholes to the filibuster. First, both Democrats and Republicans have made changes in recent years to eliminate the use of the filibuster on judicial and executive nominees. And basically this was done so that the Senate could appoint, judges and stuff. The second loophole is reconciliation, which is a process senators can use to vote on budgetary issues. But since like every bill, no matter what it's about, includes either government funding or tax breaks, it can be labeled as a budgetary issue and voted on using this process. And today, this makes it pretty much the only way legislation is passed, or at least voted on, in the Senate. So, in general, the filibuster sucks. It's just one more thing that makes it extremely difficult for the Senate to do pretty much anything. Getting rid of it wouldn't fix the Senate overnight, but with the current state of things, anything helps. But can the Senate get rid of the filibuster? Yes, it can. It has the power to do so. But since getting rid of the filibuster would require a 2/3 majority vote, and no single party has held a 2/3 majority vote for more than 50 years in the Senate, and there's no way that a senator in the minority would cross party lines to vote to get rid of the filibuster, we're stuck with it for the foreseeable future. Sorry if I got your hopes up. Hey, I'm Nick. Thanks for watching the very first episode of Politics Doesn't Suck. If you liked it, please like and subscribe, or leave a comment down below to let me know what you think. I'll see you next time.